What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In today's video, we are jumping into Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong. This is going to be issue number 4, picking up where we last left off. Atom Smasher in critical condition, and Superman doesn't have a pulse. Many are assuming that Superman might be dead, Batman refusing to believe this is true. But with the last son of Krypton taken out of this battle, there are still Titans to fight. Godzilla is still roaming free, and the Justice League have to discover what is truly going on here. Where did the kaiju come from? Why have they arrived? And how can we get them back to where they came from? And then, of course, there is Lex Luthor. Traveling to a remote location, he found the Eye of Mechagodzilla. So, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we pick up with Green Lantern taking Atom Smasher out of the battlefield. In a very serious critical condition, Shazam watches as Godzilla swims away. And of course, Batman making a vow that he will find a way to fix all of this. Probably the most shaken up right now. Batman is currently with Superman. They have been using his solar array to try and bring him back, but so far he hasn't been able to regenerate. They can't find a pulse, they can't find any signs of life. But of course, Batman would not give up. Everyone else seems to be coming to terms with the fact that Superman is dead. Everybody but Bruce. Now, as Batman goes to look around the fortress, he notices that the Dreamstone is missing. They may have come for Orion's sled. They may have come for the Mother Box. But someone also took the Dreamstone. It is his belief that if they can find the Dreamstone, they can send the monsters back home. As they get in contact with Cyborg, currently at the last known transmission point of the beacon, the one that draws the monsters in, they let him know that Godzilla is on a trajectory directly for them, believing that if it's coming to the fortress, maybe it is still coming for Clark. Now, as we hop over to Skull Island, we have Supergirl and Kong. They're having a staring contest, neither of them backing down. And we have Oliver Queen asking how long this is going to continue on. For Supergirl, she'll do it as long as it takes. Floating here, having this staring contest, she's come to the assumption that Kong isn't necessarily a threat, that he is clearly territorial, but he's not like the ones that attack Metropolis. And when she says Cal's name, we see the emotion on his face change, almost like he understands. Though Ollie would say it is very much a stretch that he actually understands. Supergirl saying that the ape is not a threat, but she wants Ollie to keep an eye on him, telling him to stay out of the way and just keep eyes on. She heads off to Clark Kent, and as soon as Supergirl leaves, Kong begins to beat his chest and roar. Oliver believes that this is about him, that maybe they're just not getting along, maybe Kong's got a problem with him. But as he looks over his shoulder, this is where he sees the silhouette of men. Going to check it out, it is the League of Assassins. They have been sitting here waiting. The moment Supergirl left, they took their opportunity. And so one by one, they charge Green Arrow. And Green Arrow knocks some skulls. Unfortunately, there are far too many of them. Green Arrow is severely outnumbered, but he has a kaiju-sized companion. This is where Kong jumps into the fight. The assassins go flying. But in all of the chaos, we have Oliver Queen who falls from the cliff, falling down onto a barge below. Green Arrow's fate remains a mystery, but we pick up with Lois, Wonder Woman, Hawkgirl, and Green Lantern. They have been observing everything that is currently ongoing. They have been trying to understand the radiation left behind on Superman. Lois going into the room where Superman is being kept, tears coming down her face looking at her beloved. She lets him know that she found the ring that was in his pocket. A ring that she says is beautiful, and her answer is yes. But she wants him to put it on her finger, which means he has to get better. With Hal Jordan interrupting this little moment, he has an emergency call. Aquaman is calling for backup. This is what takes us to the Legion of Doom. everybody is sitting here waiting for Lex Luthor's arrival, and they argue and bicker amongst themselves about who may be in charge, some saying a collective, but everybody knows that Lex is the leader. They are also waiting for Deathstroke and Cheetah. The two of them were sent out on a mission. They were sent out to find Toyman, and so while they hunt after him, we pick up with Lex Luthor, having the eye of Mecha Godzilla. We learn that Lex Luthor already had a project in play, what he called Project Atlas. They spent years developing this already. They were creating a mechanized Titan, one capable of defeating even the biggest of monsters. But Lex Luthor also knows that this is going to elevate all of his technology greatly, that his weapon systems will be far beyond anything Lex has created so far. He knows that Godzilla is an unstoppable force, one that is only concerned with maintaining natural order. Nothing suggests that he can be manipulated into destroying the Justice League, and while it is rumored that Superman has been taken down, Lex Luthor doesn't necessarily believe this just yet. Even so, the Legion cannot wait for the Titans to do what they need done, and so Lex Luthor plans to build something that will do the job, taking us underwater to the home of Aquaman. Members of the Justice League have arrived on scene to see a giant kaiju, the swimming titan, here to decimate all of Atlantis. Aquaman has done his best to try and communicate with the monster, but it only replies with rage. As our heroes battle against the creature, it emits all kinds of purple ink, clouding up the waters, making visibility almost zero. With Hal Jordan using his power ring, he puts up a shield that holds it at bay, and members of the League have come to the conclusion that there must be a beacon nearby, one that is drawing the monster here. And so if they're not going to be able to defeat this monster, they must find the beacon. They must lure the monster away from the city. This is when things get turned up to 10. Because we have the arrival of Godzilla. Using his atomic breath, he hits the Titan, and Godzilla and this kaiju begin to battle it out. While they do their best to keep this fight from really breaching over into the city, letting them sort it out, let them fight it out, but try to keep them away from the dome. This is where Mira tells him to activate the failsafe, that you and your friends are simply not enough to keep them at bay, that they cannot turn the tides in this fight. That's when Aquaman swims down to the depths. He takes the giant lock and he opens it up. This is where we see Aquaman release the Kraken. The Kraken now free, it immediately attacks the Titan. As this three-way fight is about to get underway, we are taken back to Skull Island. The League of Assassins, they have been smashed, and Green Arrow has made his way onto that barge. Not sure where its destination may be, but going under the covered area, this is where he finds a skull of a Titan. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I think this issue was a lot of fun. I think keeping Superman out of the fight, it's a good way to go. Now, I think most of us assume that Superman is in fact not dead, but he's definitely out of the fight. I think the question has been answered. In a fight between Godzilla and Superman, Godzilla wins that fight. At least based off of this comic from what we have seen, but it's always based on circumstance. Superman saves those he loves, he saves the innocent, he protects them at all costs. Godzilla shooting his atomic breath. Of course, Superman is gonna jump in the way to save Shazam, aka the Captain Billy Batson. And that is usually the downfall of most heroes. They protect the innocent at all costs, even if that cost comes at their life. And seeing Batman's almost emotional reaction to this situation, it shows how much he truly does care and how much he needs Superman Clark Kent to be alive, to be there to help guide this team, to help guide the world. And then, of course, we have to talk about Aquaman releasing the Kraken. The Kraken is honestly one of my most favorite mythological creatures, and it's a rarity that we get to see Aquaman release this massive monster. But if there is ever a time to release the Kraken, this is the perfect time, because all they see are two giant monsters going at one another, jeopardizing the dome, jeopardizing erasing everybody that lives in Atlantis. Though an argument could be made that releasing the Kraken will only cause more chaos and cause more destruction. But we're gonna have to see how all of this unfolds in the next issue. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything going on with Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's gonna get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our content, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.